Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the April 12, 2011 meeting of the Cuyahoga County Council. This is a regular meeting. Madam Clerk, before we call the roll, please turn off your cell phones. Mr. Greenspan had an exception, but no longer. His exemption has been withdrawn.
Revoked.
And please turn off anything that makes noise, because this meeting is being recorded. All right, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Madam President, I believe we need to do the allegiance.
I forgot that last week. Sorry. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For our moment of silent meditation, I'd like to call on Councilperson Michael Gallagher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Over the weekend, Sunday, the Cuyahoga County lost a well-known figure in the law. Ohio Supreme Court Justice Francis E. Sweeney Sr. lost his battle with Alzheimer's disease. Justice Sweeney, it was my honor and my privilege to be able to know him and work with him over in the Court of Appeals. He will be greatly missed, and we ask a moment of silence in respect for Justice Sweeney.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Calling the roll, Mr. Jones.
Present.
Ms. Conley.
Present.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Simon.
Here.
Mr. Greenspan.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Brady.
Present.
Mr. Germana. Here. Mr. Gallagher. Here. Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Present.
There is a quorum.
Thank you. Just by way of public announcement, the council is always concerned about expenditures for the county, and as a result of the concerns that we had about the Juvenile Justice Center, we are going to, I've announced today that we are setting up meetings with the Medical Mart and Convention Center, and we will be having updates every month from the staff of the Medical Mart so that we can keep abreast of the situation. Our first presentation will be on May the 3rd. This is a massive project with public dollars, partially public dollars, and the council wants to make sure that this project is going smoothly. While we don't anticipate any problems, we just like to be vigilant in our duties and keep abreast of the situation. Mr. Schron and his Economic Development Committee is working very, very closely with this project, but this will give an opportunity to the council persons and entire council and also the public to have an opportunity to hear these updates. All right, is there any public comment from any items that are on the agenda? Has anyone signed in?
Madam President, no one has signed in to speak.
All right, thank you. We have next on the agenda the approval of the minutes of the meeting for April 5th. However, we are going to have those for the next meeting just because of the press of business and the clerk did not have an opportunity to get those totally completed and checked, so we'll have those at the next meeting. Is there any message from the county executive?
Madam Chair, we'll have his items that he signed off on to you by the end of the week. The county executive is traveling, and we have those items for you, and we will submit those to you. I would also like, though, however, to take this opportunity to present to some and introduce the others our new team member and the new Chief Information Officer. And Mr. Maury has joined us, and if you will, we would like a couple of minutes for him to introduce himself and address the body.
Welcome, Mr. Maury.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My name is Jeff Maury. I'm the new Chief Information Officer for Cuyahoga County. A little background on myself. I grew up in Mansfield, Ohio area. Went to school in Ashland. After Ashland, I went on to work in the auto industry for about 20 years in IT. I worked for Chrysler Corporation for about 20 years. After that, I joined Broward County government as their Chief Information Officer, which I did for the last 2.5 years before joining Cuyahoga County. So I got a lot of experience working in large counties, and I look very forward to working with you and everyone here at Cuyahoga County in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, item 8 on the agenda, consideration of a motion of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Motion number 2011-0026, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of Matthew Carroll to serve as ex officio representative on the Gateway Economic Development Corporation of Greater Cleveland Board of Trustees.
All right, that matter will be referred to the Human Resources Committee. Mr. Conwell. Item number 9, a committee report and consideration of an ordinance of council for third reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2011-0014, an ordinance establishing the Board of Control, establishing procedures governing the making of county contracts and the purchasing of county supplies and equipment, providing procedures for the making of public improvements, establishing procedures under which the county executive may employ experts and consultants in connection with the administration of the affairs of the county, and providing the terms upon which the county may cooperate or join by contract with any municipality, county, state, or political subdivision or agency thereof in making public improvements or providing common services.
All right, for those of you who were not with us at the work session, we had a lively discussion regarding this process, and we have the introduction of this ordinance. However, with the coming aboard of Mr. McCoof, he had some concerns. I don't know if you wanted to voice any of those, but we're going to refer this back to the Public Works and Procurement for another review.
I will just say that I met with Mr. Miller today, and I don't know that they're necessarily concerns. I just wanted areas of clarification in terms of the language. I met with Mr. Miller today, and I have another meeting scheduled with him on Friday, and we also have additional commentary that came from outside, so we'll be considering all of that and providing the recommendations.
And we would anticipate that coming back on the next regular meeting in April 26th?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much.
All right, item 10, consideration of a resolution for first reading under suspension of the rules.
Madam President.
Yes.
Madam President, I move that Rule 3D requiring ordinances and resolutions to be read at 3 different regular council meetings, and Rule 13A requiring reference to committee be suspended, and that resolution number 2011-0137 be considered for final passage at tonight's meeting.
Is there a second to the motion to a suspension of the rules? It's moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Greenspan. Is there any discussion on suspension of the rules? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 2011-0137, a resolution amending the 2011 annual appropriation measure by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Once again, Council has had an opportunity to review all of these items. Is there a motion on this?
Madam President?
Yes.
The items seem to be routine in nature, and I move to adopt.
It's moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Conwell. Yeah, as I was saying, we've had an opportunity to go through these, review them quite carefully, and as Mr. Miller says, they're all basically routine. All right, is there any other discussion on these matters? All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Item 11. Consideration of resolution for first reading referral to committee.
Resolution number 2011-0138, a resolution declaring that public convenience and welfare requires resurfacing of Columbus Road from Center Street to West 25th Street in the city of Cleveland. Total estimated construction cost $2,054,000. Authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement of cooperation with City of Cleveland in connection with said project.
That matter will be referred to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0139, a resolution accepting scour repair of Old Royalton Road, Bridge number 108, over Chippewa Creek in the city of Brecksville as complete and in accordance with plans and specifications.
That matter will be referred to Mr. Jones and Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0140, a resolution accepting repair and resurfacing of Usher Road from Sprague Road to Bagley Road in the city of Olmsted Falls and Olmsted Township as complete and in accordance with plans and specifications.
That will go to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0141, a resolution accepting rehabilitation of West 130th Street from Snow Road to Brook Park Road in the cities of Brook Park and Parma as complete and in accordance with plans and specifications.
That will go referred to the Public Works Committee.
Resolution number 2011-0142, a resolution authorizing the county executive to approve an additional settlement in connection with the appropriation of property rights for the grading, draining, and paving of Bainbridge Road from Somme Center Road to the Solon East Corporation line in the city of Solon, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Refer to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0143, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to a local public agency, also known as LPA, agreement with Ohio Department of Transportation for the grade separation of Stearns Road at the Norfolk Southern Railroad in Olmsted Township to change the funding arrangement and scope of services effective April 12, 2011, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will be referred to the Public Works Committee.
Resolution number 2011-0144, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to contract number CE 0700690 with Trans Systems Corporation of Ohio for consultant engineering services for the grade separation of Stearns Road at the Norfolk Southern Railroad in Olmsted Township to change the scope of services and the terms effective April 12, 2011, and for additional funds in the amount of $868,990, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will be referred to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0145, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to contract number CE 0900388 with CT Consultants Incorporated for general engineering services for the period April 1, 2009 through March 31, 2011, to extend the time period to December 31, 2011. No additional funds required.
This referred also to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0146, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment, change order number 1, to contract number CE 10349 with Terrace Construction Company Incorporated for the sewer and lateral repair program for various county sewer districts to change the scope of services effective April 12, 2011. No additional funds required.
Refer this to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0147, a resolution authorizing an award on requisition number 19185 to Carvo Paving Company in the amount of $2,233,539.49 for repair and resurfacing of Tiedemann Road from Brook Park Road to Memphis Avenue in the city of Brooklyn, authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract consistent with said award, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Refer to Public Works.
Resolution number 2011-0148, a resolution authorizing a subgrant award to City of Euclid in the amount not to exceed $150,000 for a project located at 23802 Lakeshore Boulevard, Euclid, in connection with the Brownfields Revolving Loan Fund Program for the period August 1, 2008 through July 31, 2013, authorizing the county executive to execute all documents required in connection with said award.
This matter will be referred to the Economic Development Committee.
Resolution number 2011-0149, a resolution authorizing a home rental rehabilitation loan in the amount not to exceed $500,000 to Villa Serena Incorporated for the Villa Serena Senior Citizen Apartments project located at 6800 Mayfield Road, Mayfield Heights, authorizing the county executive to execute all documents required in connection with said loan and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will be referred to the Economic Development Committee.
Resolution number 2011-0150, a resolution authorizing an award on requisition number 18962 to Lawler Construction in the amount of $1,289,499 for heating unit replacement and associated energy conservation activities for the Villa Serena Apartments project located at 6800 Mayfield Road, Mayfield Heights, in connection with the Home Weatherization Assistance Program for the period May 1, 2011 through September 30, 2011, authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract consistent with said award and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This also will go to Economic Development.
Resolution number 2011-0151, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with Cranial Incorporated, doing business as Versatech, in the amount not to exceed $785,643.60 for maintenance on various Kodak and Fujitsu equipment for various county departments for the period January 1, 2011 through December 31, 2013.
After long debate, we decided to send this to Finance and Budget.
Resolution number 2011-0152, a resolution authorizing the issuance of notes in the maximum principal amount of $10,400,000 in anticipation of bonds for the purpose of refunding bond anticipation notes, the proceeds of which were originally to refund the county's $10,150,000 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum project notes, Series 2010, that were issued to pay the costs of acquiring, constructing, and equipping a library and an archives facility for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum and certain improvements and renovations of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum.
This will be referred also to Finance and Budget.
Resolution number 2011-0153, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with MHS Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $550,611 for crisis intervention and assessment services for the Children Who Witness Violence program for the period January 1, 2011 through December 31, 2011.
Yeah, we had a brief presentation on this during the work session for those of you who are not here. This matter will be referred to Justice Affairs.
Resolution number 2011-0154, a resolution authorizing the county executive on behalf of the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities to enter into an amendment to contract number CE 10448 with Terrick Roofing Incorporated for various roof replacement projects to change the scope of services and the terms effective November 29, 2010, and for a decrease in the amount of $20,549 with the facilities as printed on the agenda, items 1 through 4.
This now we referred to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0155, a resolution authorizing an award on requisition number 18597 to Metro Health Medical Center in the amount of $880,595 for medical and social support services for the HIV Emergency Relief Grant Program in connection with the Ryan White HIV/AIDS Treatment Extension Act of 2009 for the period March 1, 2011 through February 29, 2012, authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract consistent with said award.
This matter will be referred to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0156, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into contracts with various providers for the homelessness prevention and rapid rehousing program for the period September 15, 2009 through July 31, 2012. One with Cleveland Mediation Center in the amount not to exceed $711,086. 2, with Emerald Development and Economic Network Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $641,780. And 3, with MHS Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $336,734.
This will go to Health and Human Services.
Excuse me. Resolution number 2011-0157, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with MHS Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,124,293 for operational support of the Norma Hare Women's Center, formerly known as Community Women's Shelter, located at 2219-2227 Payne Avenue, Cleveland, for the period January 1, 2011 through December 31, 2011.
This will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0158, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with the Salvation Army in the amount not to exceed $527,499 for the past transitional housing program in connection with the fiscal year 2009 Continuum of Care for Homeless Assistance Grant Program for the period October 1, 2010 through September 30, 2011.
This will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0159, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to agreement number AG 10201 with Department of Workforce Development for operation of the Employment Connection One-Stop System, Career Centers, and Work Experience Program for the period July 1, 2010 through June 30, 2011, to extend the time period to June 30, 2012, to change the scope of services effective July 1, 2011, and for additional funds in the amount of $753,513.
This will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0160, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to contract number CE 1623 with LNE and Associates for job readiness search, placement and retention activities for Ohio Works First cash recipients for the period July 1, 2010 through June 30, 2011, to exercise an option to extend the time period to June 30, 2012, and for additional funds in the amount of $428,518.08.
This will be referred to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0161, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to contract number CE 10592 with Towards Employment Incorporated for job readiness, search, placement, and retention activities for Ohio Works First cash recipients for the period July 1, 2010 through June 30, 2011, to exercise an option to extend the time period to June 30, 2012, and for additional funds in the amount of $436,617.15.
This will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2011-0162, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment to contract number CE 10593 with West Side Ecumenical Ministry for job readiness, search, placement, and retention activities for Ohio Works First cash recipients for the period July 1, 2010 through June 30, 2011, to exercise an option to extend the time period to June 30, 2012, and for additional funds in the amount of $473,901.21.
And this also will go to Health and Human Services. All right, item number 12, committee report and recommendation to withdraw resolution for consideration. We need to read that?
Resolution 2011-0121, a resolution making an award on requisition number 18560 and authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with Infinity Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $5,490,000 for the Correction Center Jail Kitchen renovation project.
All right, do we need a motion to withdraw? All right, Mr. Gallagher.
So moved.
Madam President, just
Yes.
a clarification that the sponsor of the resolution is the county executive, so it would be within his purview to withdraw it. I think it's a matter of recognition that the executive has actually withdrawn.
All right, so we don't need a vote?
Because it wasn't introduced by a council member,
Okay.
it was introduced by the executive.
All right, Mr. Gallagher, I think want to make a brief comment.
That came before the Public Safety committee, and it was on our docket to hear that day. And just before we were to hear that, we were notified that the executive had removed that from consideration. It was from the previous administration, I believe, and that will be rebid.
All right. All right, so that's noted, it's withdrawn. All right, item 13, committee report and consideration of resolution for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules.
Madam President.
Yes.
Madam President, I move that Rule 9D, requiring that ordinances and resolutions be read at three separate regular meetings of council, be suspended, and that resolutions number 2011-0075, 0115, 0116, 0118, 0122, 0123, and 0124 be considered for final passage at tonight's meeting.
Is there a second? All right, it's moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2011-0075, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement of cooperation with City of Cleveland Heights for rehabilitation of Taylor Road from Euclid Heights Boulevard to Cleveland Heights North Corporation Line, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Rogers, seconded by Mr. Miller. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Item 0115.
Resolution number 2011-0115, a resolution authorizing the county executive to approve an additional settlement for property rights for the temporary taking of 3,870 square feet in connection with the grading, draining, and paving of Bainbridge Road from Som Center Road to the Solon East Corporation Line in the city of Solon, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Schron, seconded by Mr. Jones. Is there any discussion?
I just had to get it on the record that it's not in Parma. It's actually in District 6, and so I just wanted to make sure that was duly noted.
All right, is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 0116.
Resolution number 2011-0116, a resolution authorizing the county executive to grant sewer builders licenses for the year 2011, authorizing the Director of Public Works to execute said licenses, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Was that Mr. Jones and seconded by Mr. Miller? This is a resolution that we asked to be adopted because every week we were having these long lists of those applicants for sewer licenses, and we didn't feel it was necessary for us to that to come before council. We leave it in the able hands of Ms. Tiwan to go through the application. There's a process already established with requirements and bonding, so that decision will be made outside of council and will sort of speed the administration of county business. Is there any other discussion on that? Favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Item 0118.
Resolution number 2011-0118, a resolution granting authority for the Director of the Office of Procurement and Diversity to advertise and to issue requisition 19343 for the purchase of electric utility services for county-owned facilities for the period June 1, 2011 through May 31, 2012, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
All right, moved by Mr. Jones, is seconded by Ms. Conwell. Sorry, I couldn't hear. All right, is there any discussion on this? This is basically allow the administration to go out and go for bids for the electrical work, for the electricity for county-provided buildings. And Mr. Brady raised a question during our work session whether or not this was possible to allow Cleveland Public Power to bid on this, and we got an indication that there will be a possibility on that. Did you want to make any other comment? Or
Not only Cleveland Public Power, but that
from what I understand, Ms. T1 to have said there's also some other potential bidders due to the deregulation of.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Item 0122.
Resolution number 2011-0122, a resolution making an award on requisition number 19284 and authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with Great Lakes Construction Company in the amount of $4,954,904.03 for construction of a grade separation on Fitch Road over the Norfolk Southern Railroad in the city of Olmsted Falls and Olmsted Township, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Greenspan, seconded by Ms. Simon. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. 0123.
Resolution number 2011-0123, a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment, change order number 2 to contract number CE 0800-267 with HNTB Ohio Incorporated for general engineering services for various projects for the period April 1, 2008 through March 31, 2011, to extend the time period to December 31, 2011, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Yes.
This resolution doesn't cost any money. It merely extends the time period for some work to be completed on these projects, and I move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Conwell. Is there any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. All right, item 0124.
Resolution number 2011-0124, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an amendment, change order number 2 to contract number CE 0900-375 with Wilbur Smith Associates Incorporated, Ohio, for general engineering services for various projects for the period April 1, 2009 through March 31, 2011, to extend the time period to December 31, 2011, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Madam President?
Yes.
Same comment applies to this one, and I move to adopt.
All right, moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. All right, we're right on schedule here. Let the record reflect that it is 6:35. And we have the next item on the agenda, item 14, a hearing of objections scheduled for 6:30. At this time, the council will conduct a public hearing regarding the reconstruction of Ridge Road from Interstate 480 to Memphis Road in the city of Brooklyn. This matter has been properly noticed, and we will proceed. We will now open the public meeting for the following project: the reconstruction of Ridge Road, County Road 10, from Interstate 480 to Memphis Road in the city of Brooklyn. I will now recognize the Director of Public Works, Ms. Bonnie T1.
Quick description of the project. It's a project in the city of Brooklyn on Ridge Road. It extends from, the limits are from 480 to Memphis Avenue. The project schedule is anticipated to start construction in 2013. There's right-of-way that needs to be acquired because of the widening. The scope of the project is we're actually replacing all of the pavement. We have to widen the pavement to meet the current standards. There will be new curbs and spot repair for the sidewalks. for the ADA compliant ramps and whatnot, and any sidewalk that's broken up that needs to be repaired. That's the scope of the project. So we need to buy some additional right-of-way at the intersections and along the route.
The purpose of this hearing is to hear statements for and against the proposed improvement of Ridge Road in accordance with Section 5555 of the Ohio Revised Code. A notice of this hearing appeared in the Plain Dealer on March 18th and March 27th, 2011. In addition, the plans have been available for public viewing at the County Administration Building, room 424. The project includes the improvements of 1.10 miles of ridge roads by full depth reconstruction of the pavement along with existing alignment, including signalization, pavement marking, and drainage. At this time, we would like to ask anyone who has any comment on this project to please come to the microphone and for the record state your name and your address and make any statement that you'd like to make regarding this project. All right, there being no public comment, is there anyone on council that would like to make a comment? Mr. Germano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For those that are not exactly familiar by the description of the road, this is basically at I-480 and Ridge Park Square, and it is a very heavily traveled, very congested road. Thousands and thousands of motorists are constantly using it, and I'm a proponent of this, and I think that that should move forward.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Madam President, I just have a question of Ms. Tewan as to whether, in addition to the publication in the Plain Dealer, whether the public hearing is also advertised on the county's website.
Honestly, I don't know if this one has gotten on to the county website. I can check and get back to you, but I'm not sure exactly if this one made it there or not.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but we complied. I believe that the publication of the newspaper complied with the Ohio Revised Code section.
Madam President, I'm not questioning that we're in compliance. I'm sure that we are.
All right.
I just think that in the 21st century that the advertisement on the website is always a good thing to do.
All right, we'll make sure it's done the next time.
Yeah, okay.
All right, any other comments, Ms. Simon?
Just a brief comment. Even though I'm an East Sider, I make it to the West Side. My grandmother lives right around the corner from this shopping center and drives there, and it's just so heavily trafficked, as Councilman Germano said. So any improvement to this would be great for when I'm over there visiting my grandmother.
Before I got elected to this council, I used to go to the movies over there sometimes. Well, it's just that I don't have the time anymore to go to the movies. All right, I believe, yes.
I'm just wondering why this particular project needs a public hearing.
Yeah, we can have Gene give us an explanation of that. We've been kind of going around with this all day to make sure that we got it correctly. I believe this is because this is the first step in the process. Is that correct? We actually set this on the agenda maybe, was it 3 weeks
Madam
ago?
President, if I may, yeah, there's a statutory requirement, I don't have the exact statute with me, for the public hearing. And basically what happens is there's a process that precedes this where the surveys are done and then they're placed for public inspection, and the public is able to go and inspect those surveys. And after the public inspection, this is the hearing where it's open to the public to come in with any objections that they have to the surveys that have been done, and that's done through a public hearing, and then pursuant to that, you vote on the approving those surveys. I don't know if Ms. Tewan has any more, but that's my understanding of how it works.
The difference between this project and just a normal resurfacing project is because we are acquiring right away. That's the difference between this project and just a resurfacing project.
So, Madam President, so if we weren't acquiring right-of-ways, we wouldn't have to have a public hearing on this?
Correct. We would still have public meetings on our own to inform the citizens of the scope of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President? Thank you. And I was going to ask the same question that my colleague just asked, Julian Rogers, but this might be difficult for people to come down here. Is this the statute requiring a public hearing before the governmental body specifically, or what is the necessity of the folks coming down here versus perhaps maybe looking to have a hearing, if possible, in the actual jurisdiction city?
The hearing historically is before the acquiring body, which used to be the Board of Commissioners and now is the council. And keep in mind that this is a step in the process. If the negotiations fail, the council needs to authorize the acquisition of property through eminent domain and finding of the inability to agree. So that is done. That is by council. So I don't know that the location matters where council meets, but it's this body that actually conducts the hearing.
Is this the beginning of an eminent domain, or
Well,
is this
I'm sorry.
Madam President or Law Director? I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry. If the county is unable to acquire the property without agreement with the property owner, then obviously eminent domain is the route to acquire the property. But the first step, even through the eminent domain process, is to enter into negotiations with the property owner. And under the revised Eminent Domain Act, there's even further requirements in terms of how you conduct the negotiations with the property owner and the good faith offers to the property owner. So there's a long process before there's any initiation of any eminent domain process, but this is, of course, the necessary predicate in case that the negotiated acquisition does not work out.
Madam President, just to follow up to our Law Director or our Public Service Director, Ms. T1, are these homes that are on that street that we're looking at acquiring some of their frontage? Do you know?
Based on the area and people that are more familiar with the area, I don't believe there's any homes within this route. Do you agree?
Mr. German, are you familiar with it?
Well, there's, Madam Chair, there's 52 different parcels there, and this starts at 480, and then you have Ridge Park Square. Now, there are some apartments. There are actually some homes there, and then you hit Bidoff, and then from Bidoff, going further north, you have the public library there. You have the stadium for the high school, and so on. But there is some homes and some apartments on Ridge Road there. At Bidoff, there is another shopping center, the Bidoff Shopping Center, and the cemetery to the northeast corner of Bidoff in Ridge, St. Theodosius Party Center, and a very large cemetery behind.
If there's no further matter, then we will close the public hearing and recognize the Director of Public Works. Yes.
As County Council member in this district, let me just go on record that no one has contacted me concerning this project. So there's no objections that have come to me.
Oh, I see. Okay, no one in the public has contacted you. Okay.
If I may, Madam President, just for point of clarification, if the process were to get to eminent domain, there would be another set of procedures that would have to be followed, but this is necessary at this point to
Actually, Madam Chairman, as Mr. Germana knows very well, it's the Sun News would actually be the publication that would most likely reach most people in that community as this process goes forward.
And Madam President, actual notices, I'm sure, should be going out to the homeowners and the property owners in that area.
Once we determine that right-of-way does have to be required on each parcel, there's a process, just like the Law Director said, that has to be followed to ensure that each of the property owners are dealt with properly. So there's a very stringent process, and their first contact is to say that there may be a possibility that right-of-way is being acquired from them, and that they're given hand brochures on what the right-of-way acquisition process is. So the people that we utilize will either try to acquire the property in-house or with a consultant that's a certified acquirer. So they have to be trained in this area, and they have to be certified on the appropriate process to follow to approach a property owner. It's a very sensitive subject, and we understand that. We're very sympathetic to the concerns that all the property owners have.
Madam,
Mr. Brady?
as been commented on, this is a very, very heavily trafficked street. Do you, Director T1, do you happen to know what the count is of cars?
Actually, I just looked it up. It's a little over 20,000 ADT.
See, 117th Street is 20,000. I thought it was about in that range. That is really, imagine every single day 20,000 cars. You need a road.
If I may, what happens if, again, we're speaking prematurely here because we're not knowing what would happen, but in terms of the eminent domain process, is even under the revised code now, it has the specific language in the notice that would have to go to the property owners that advises them specifically of their rights, the fact that they have appellate rights, the fact that they don't have to agree to the acquisition, and the property has to be appraised in some format, and there has to be a good faith offer made to the property owner, and it's only when those negotiations fail is the inability to agree made, and then council would declare in that resolution the fair market value of the property and authorize the institution of eminent domain proceedings, at which point the eminent domain proceedings begin. And even in the eminent domain proceedings themselves, there's always a process to negotiate with the property owners once that happens. But basically, the institution of the eminent domain proceedings and the filing of the deposit that in the amount that the council declares to be the fair market value is what entitles us to enter upon the property at that point and start the work. But even the appraisal process, the property owner is given the right to participate in that and to be there when the property is being appraised. So just point of clarification as to how the process works. Thank you.
All right, I will now ask so we will close the public meeting if there's no further discussion. I will now ask the clerk of council to read the resolution approving the construction plans, right-of-way plans, profiles, cross-section, estimates of cost, specifications, right-of-way plat M-5009, and authorizing the county executive to acquire the necessary right-of-way and to proceed with this project and recommend that the same be adopted by council.
Madam Chair, I believe because this is going to be effective immediately, that we'll need a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. Miller.
Madam President, we need a motion to suspend the rules because we're not going to read it 3 times, and it's not going to go to committee.
Okay.
And we also need 8 votes for it to be approved to become effective immediately.
All right.
Madam President, therefore I move that Rule 9D requiring resolutions and ordinances to be read on 3 separate regular council meeting days and Rule 13A requiring reference to committee be dispensed with, and that resolution number 2011-0163 be considered for passage at tonight's meeting.
All right, it's moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Shrine. Any discussion on the motion to suspend the rules? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Now, do we need to read? We have to have the clerk read this again. Okay.
Resolution number 2011-0163, a resolution approving surveys, plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates of costs, specifications, and right-of-way plat number M5009 for reconstruction of Ridge Road from Interstate 480 to Memphis Avenue in the city of Brooklyn, authorizing the county executive to acquire the necessary right-of-way and to proceed with the improvement, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Is there a motion?
Adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Schron, seconded by Ms. Conwell. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. All right, item 15. Are there any miscellaneous committee reports? Ms. Simon.
Madam President, I just wanted to say that the Justice Affairs Committee is meeting this Friday at 11:30, and one of the items to discuss will be the Law Department.
All right, any other reports, Mr. Greenspan?
Thank you, Madam President. Just give an update on the IG ordinance and where that sits with the Ethics Committee. My intent is to have a draft to present to Mr. Fitzgerald for review, and when it comes back to committee, he and I will co-sponsor the legislation. So we have administrative buy-in, and it will probably be a week from Tuesday, but I just want to give an update as to where we are on that specific piece of legislation, because it's been sent to committee and it's still sitting there.
All right. Because I had anticipated that Mr. Fitzgerald was going to submit legislation to us also. Okay. All right, Mr. Germana, or did anyone else have a miscellaneous report?
Madam Chair, we had a good discussion with Mr. Ed Jers yesterday at the Intergovernmental, which was a combined meeting with the Economic Development and Environmental and Sustainability Committee. One of the topics of discussion came up of at least 3 different collaboration proposals and groups that are working, and it's our intention to call the various collaboration groups to come explain the plan, so at least we get the big picture of what the planning is being done. One of the discussions we had yesterday is, should this be done at Committee of the Wholes at a work session, or should it be done under a committee meeting? So I don't know if there's any discussion. We could do it either way, depending on how people feel. There is seven members on the Economic Development Committee. There's 5 on the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. But since this is the big picture on planning for collaboration, I think it's important for everybody to attend. Now, if you would want to attend at Intergovernmental and Combined Economic Development Committee, we could arrange that. So if there's any feedback. So what we're saying is this would be on a Monday, on an off-council week at 2:00, rather than having it at a work session. So if there's any comment from those that are not on the committee.
Madam Chair? Yes. Actually, I'm on one of those committees, and it would be, I think from my standpoint, it would make sense for everybody to hear this, and on Tuesdays when we carve out Tuesday for these work sessions. So that would just be my preference.
Mr. Brady?
I was at the hearing, and we really had almost a committee of the whole there anyway, and it would probably be less cumbersome and just make more sense, just in my opinion, to have a committee of the whole on this discussion. Is an important discussion for the entire council, I think.
I think the advantage also to having committee of the whole is the opportunity for the public to hear the recording, or we can actually have it recorded and broadcast, because it is an important issue that a lot of people in the county are concerned about. Do you want to get together with the clerk and we'll figure out the next work session we have available probably early in May? I think we're set for April 26th. We could probably do the first session in May.
Madam Chair, there isn't a lot of people are not aware of. There's when you speak of Mayors and City Managers Association, you always think of the Cuyahoga County Association, but there is one that is the Northeast Ohio Mayors and City Managers Association. We have Mayor Curran from Hudson that is the chairman of that, and he's one of the big proponents for the Prosperity Initiative. And this is multi-county. It started off as 16 counties, and because some of these original 16 counties were rural and did not have the business climate and population, it's been reduced. So I would suggest, because this is the really grand picture, that we hear from Mayor Kern and the Prosperity Initiative at the first opportunity, and then we could then go to the planning, and it's from Kent State University. They have a program we could invite and find out when they could be in attendance. But I think the Prosperity Initiative would be the first one.
All right. Well, I'll work it out with you, and we'll set up the times in the agenda. All right. Thank you.
Madam
yeah.
President, just to clarify, for the May 3rd meeting, at this point we have Mr. Applebaum coming in regarding the Medical Mart update, and also the library. Sorry, Feldman.
So the second week in May, the second meeting in May?
Well, May 3rd it happens to be primary election day in a number of cities.
How would you know that, Mr. Germana?
What's the relevance of it?
Mr. Germana, if you'd get with me, we can come up with a date and time, and also if you get with your folks, as a tentative date, then we could figure out how to and when to schedule it.
Okay. All right. Any other miscellaneous committee reports? Any miscellaneous business? Greenspan.
One bit of exciting information here. I'm having a town hall meeting Thursday, if anybody's interested in attending, in Olmsted Township, Olmsted Falls, to go over public works issues. So if you are interested in public works in the Falls and Township, please plan on attending at 7 p.m.
All right. Is there any public comment that anyone would like to make on any subject that you'd like to address the council on?
Madam President?
Yes.
There's no public comment. I had a miscellaneous business comment.
Go ahead.
No public comment. I just wanted to point out, and I'm surprised Madam President didn't speak to this, that it's significant today, 150 years of the firing on Fort Sumter. So just wanted to bring that up. But April 12th, 1861 was the shot that was heard. So I just thought you'd be pointing that out.
Probably should have.
Civil War aficionado and buff, so.
Yes. Mr. Miller?
Madam President, along that same line, it's a big day. It's also the 50th anniversary of Yuri Gagarin's space flight, and also the 30th anniversary of the first space shuttle flight.
And yesterday was the 100th anniversary of the death of former Mayor Tom Johnson of the city of Claywood.
We're going to have to start doing these, making these announcements every week. There'll be lots of Civil War announcements. Before we adjourn, I have to comply with the rules. If I had time to read my Civil War history when I wasn't reading these resolutions and stuff all night, I'd be more up on this. The next Committee of the Whole will be on April the 19th. As indicated, we'll be discussing the rules at 4 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we are likely to have a special meeting depending on whether or not we get certain ordinances out of committee. We also have a work session at 4 o'clock on April the 26th here in council chambers, and a regular meeting on April 26th. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.